Where do we go? Nobody knows. Don't ever say you're on your way down when God gave you style and gave you grace. God put a smile upon your face. So, in 2003, Coldplay released the album A Rush of Blood to the Head. I was about 12 years old when it was released, and I remember I was in the Apple store at the local mall with my parents, just waiting for my dad to check out, finish purchasing something. So, you know, as kids do, I was just browsing around, putting headphones on, like looking at, searching through iPod music playlists, and so popped up God Put a Smile on Your Face, which when I saw that the artist was Coldplay, I thought to myself, that's an odd, first of all, that's a long song title. Secondly, that's a weird name for a Coldplay song. But I didn't get much more than like a minute into the song, and then my parents were already set to leave. So we left, and I kind of, you know, forgot about the song, kind of put it on the back burner, or, you know, let it go for a while until it resurfaced again, you know, probably at the end of high school, maybe when I was like 17 or 18. And I was like, dang, this song is pretty cool. I was surprised. I was like, this is kind of different for Coldplay, which then brought me to finally, yes, I know, I was late to the game with the album A Rush of Blood to the Head, but finally brought me to listening to the whole album. Let's get into it, and hopefully this will be a fun and interesting discussion. Coldplay once had an artistic sort of feel that wasn't exactly like other rock bands or pop bands at the time. Early 2000s, they had a recognizable sound for sure, like Chris Martin's voice. Yeah, you're just like, okay, it's Coldplay. What I like is it's definitely one of the more somber albums. It's like really heavy and so sad. I know Parachutes is heavy too, but this one's just somber, and it's bleak too. The album cover itself, I think, really just like encapsulates that energy of just this darkness. It's almost like there's a cloud above your head that you can't quite, you know, almost a thundercloud, like keeps drizzling. It's not quite rainy, you know, it's not really pouring, but it's drizzling on and off. You're just surprise, surprise. The second song, then, before we get to finishing up, because I wanted to reveal what the second song is before finishing God Put a Smile on Your Face, is we're actually going to talk about, drum roll, I know you can't see it, there's a little, I have a table here. Warning sign. A warning sign. I missed the good part, then I realized. And we'll get to that in just a moment. E to then G, and then to F sharp to F. And that's also the outro. So, but as I started to note before, it's this part, the chorus would be C to G to A. So that's, you know, pretty much what it looks like there. I think it's an important song too, because it's one of those Coldplay tunes that you're like, you know, it's heavy. It's like I think it draws out the essence of the album. It's a really good one. And I remember to kind of put a period here, and then we'll move on to Warning Sign. When I was younger, I was probably like 22, 3, something like that, early 20s. I was playing in this cover band, and we actually just, I don't know, no one really particularly loved Coldplay. I was a Coldplay fan, so I I think I threw this one in the ring. This came up and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So yeah, I was playing drums to it at the time. It's actually a tricky one to drum to, because it's just like you just have to be, you know, right on the time. So yeah, that's that. A Warning Sign. Before that, I was probably like 16 or 17 when I saw that movie, The Last Kiss, with Zach Braff, and that song comes up. It's like towards the very end. Oh, he's, you know, in the pouring rain. Is she gonna open the door? Is she gonna let him in? Is she gonna say, you know, okay, it's over. You can come inside. But that was the first time I heard the song. So anyway, why did I choose this one? Very simple. Also, just like God put a smile on your face, I believe it just captures the essence of the whole album. It's just again, it's a somber one. It's sad, and it speaks to just the feeling of loss at its most potent. You know, I think it was like a timely time for me to listen to the whole album and to start, you know, getting into A Rush of Blood to the Head, you know. So they've made their mark for sure. But with Warning Sign, rather than getting into like specifics of like the chord structure, and I just want to talk about the lyrics real quick and speak to why I love it for the reasons I do. One being its somber, sad quality, and I missed the good part, the first verse. Then I realized that you were an island and I passed you by. It's speaking to walking by something absolutely beautiful, absolutely valuable and worthy of attention and engagement with, or something like that, and yet you pass it right by. You know, it's like seeing this beautiful island, taking it entirely for granted. You know, being in Hawaii on a vacation with your family and just burying yourself in, I don't know, instead in your work or in magazines and newspapers, stuff like that, and not actually enjoying the island. So those songs, but also I was going to say on X and Y, where they explore themes about the future and that sort of vibe. And he doesn't always have very experimental intellectual lyrics, you know. Sad songs like these, Warning Sign, they don't have to have super deep lyrics. It's more just about the message of loss, of pain, of taking someone for granted that you wish you had really, you know, been more present in a relationship, you know, long-term relationship, come and gone, and now you're like, oh, if I had only, right, ... Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Coldplay's music. We'll continue this because, as always, music is a continuous flow, and until then.